Hello, welcome to Santa's Workshop. This particular kit is for the card kit bundle for Santa's Workshop. And in this kit, you are going to receive the Christmas Wishes cards. You've got the instructions to be able to put these cards together. And eventually you'll end up with 8 cards, 4 of each card with matching envelopes. So this is where you start. You start by putting your kit together. Then you've got 5 additional supplemental cards that you're going to be able to create utilizing the stamps that come in your Christmas Wishes kit. That's where we're going to start right now. So we're going to follow the written tutorial that you're provided. And we're going to start with card number 1. So let me bring that kit in. This is card number 1. And you're going to receive Granny Apple Green cardstock. You're going to receive basic white cardstock, one for the outside, one for the inside. You're also going to receive in your kit designer series paper from the Take a Bow set. These, I have not punched out any of your circles from your designer series paper. You've gotten your kit of designer series paper and you will be responsible for doing your cutting. Now, these are punched with the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. If you do not have the 2 3/8 inch circle punch, you also have a white piece of basic white cardstock that is also punched at 2 3/8 inch. It's actually also embossed with the Forever Plaid embossing folder. What I would recommend that you do is just turn it over, take a pencil, trace around it on your designer series paper, and then you can cut out your designer series paper and you'll have the perfect circle. That's if you don't happen to have the punch. Also in your kit, you've got a house that is punched from the Humble Home Builder. We've got a label that was created from the, I believe, the Unbound Love. Whoops, here we go. From the Unbound Love set. So you've got that label that you've got that's been die cut. You've got a couple of hearts that have come from, hopefully you've got a couple of hearts. There's probably another one floating around here somewhere. These hearts came from the Humble Home Builder. And then you've got some twine. So let's go ahead and let's look here for, oh, there's our second heart. Okay, so let's go ahead and start building this card. We are going to follow the tutorial as it was written, and I'm just going in that order. So let's go ahead and let's get started by just building our card base to start. So we're gonna fold this over, burnish the edges with our bone folder, set that aside. We know we've got a front layer. We've got our 2 circles that we're gonna layer down. We've got our embossed circle, and we'll start gluing here in just a second. I'm kind of building it out. We've got our heart or a house. We've got a heart that goes here, and then we've got our label. So what we need to do is we need to stamp our label so we can start building this out. We're utilizing photopolymer stamps. There's no cushion to a photopolymer stamp. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat that will give us some cushion as we're stamping. So we're stamping with Christmas and Wishes. Christmas is going to be stamped in the Real Red. I'm going to bring in a bigger block. So we've got Christmas here, and then we've got Wishes here, and Wishes is going to be stamped in Garden Green. So we've got those. All right, so let's start with Christmas Wishes, or Christmas. We'll go ahead and get that ready to stamp. And you can see through. I'm tilting it just a little bit, which I'm not supposed to, and so you can see I've kind of got a red line of ink here. It's not going to get on my label, so I'm not going to worry about it, but you want to basically go straight down and straight up. So I'm going to work to get Christmas on here. And once I've done that, let me go ahead and clean this off so I don't get ink all over. I'm going to use my Simply Chamois to clean all of this off. And then we'll close this up and we'll bring out Wishes. And you'll note well, you can't see it probably right now, but wishes is going to go to the right side of Christmas. So we're going to go ahead and ink that up, and I'm going to bring it down right about here, and I'm going to line that S up with the S above. There we go, Christmas wishes. So let's go ahead and clean this one off. Close our ink up. And now we can start building this card. So let's put this off to the side. The first thing we're gonna do is start building our layer. So the first thing we've got to put down our circles. So I'm just gonna take some multi-purpose glue. This is my adhesive of choice just because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. But we're gonna go ahead and get this laid down. And I'm gonna put it over here. Okay. And then we're going to take the second one and we're going to lay it over here. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit and we're going to lay it here. Put some glue here. And then let's see, I'm going to bring it about right here. You can see I've gone off the paper. We're going to trim that off. And then I'm going to take my embossed piece and I'm going to layer it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer this with dimensionals. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my house. So let's go ahead and get our house down. And we'll center it here. Maybe come down a little bit. There we go. And then we've got our heart that we're going to put on it. And I'm going to actually utilize my Take Your Pick with the putty end to help me with that. So basically what I can do is I can take my glue and put a little dollop of glue here. And then I'm going to pick up my heart with my Take Your Pick. And I can lay it down right here like this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Take Your Pick again. This time I'm going to have it help me pull the backs off. And then what I can do is I can turn this over and adhere my circle probably right about here. I think I'm happy with that. Now I need to adhere my label, and I'm also going to use dimensionals for that. Whoops. Let's go ahead and put one in the center. Take your pick. Get those backs off. And then we'll layer this probably right about here. I'm not going to push it down quite yet because I want to make sure I've got that straight. But once I've got that straight, everything's good. So a couple more things we need to do. I need to take my snips and I'm going to trim off this edge. Okay. And then we'll put that in the bin. And then we're going to go ahead and adhere this layer down to our card base. I want to make sure my card base opens like this. So your card base may open differently. It's going to be the same size, but it may either open top to bottom or side to side. Either way works, but just make sure it's opening the right way before you put your layer down, because you don't want it to be upside down. So now what I can do is I can center this the way that I want it. So we've got this now, and I'm going to use my twine and I'm going to create a double bow. So we'll go ahead and tie this up. And I'll get it lined up the way that I need to. Pull this down so I've got an end to it. And then I'm going to trim it up as soon as I get it the way that I want it. This probably needs to be just a little bit smaller. All right, Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon snips and I am going to snip this, and then I can line these up just a little bit better just to even them out. My ribbon snips always have a ribbon on it. This is all I cut with these snips is ribbon, which keeps them nice and sharp. All right, it looks like I need to do a little bit more finessing on this. It looks like the size of the loop changed just a little bit, which is not a problem. I'm going to trim this up a little bit more. And then I'm going to take a glue dot. You can do it a couple different ways. My preference is to take my glue dot with my take your pick and place my glue dot where I want it to go and then put my ribbon over it. The other thing that you can do though is you can take your glue dot, lay your ribbon on it, your ribbon, your twine, pull it off. Now you've got it on the back of your ribbon, and you can place your ribbon wherever you want it to be. And you've got your glue dot already on the back of it. So there we go, we've got that. And then the last thing we're gonna do is we need to put our other heart on. I'm gonna turn this over. Well, this isn't the last thing, but it's the next thing. I'm gonna do another little heart or a little dollop of glue here. Take your pick. I'm gonna turn this over. I want this side so I can put my heart here. So now my heart's down there. And then I've got some embellishments that I brought over. These are transparent adhesive backed dots. So we'll pull these out, and let's go ahead and put a few of these down. So I'm gonna use what I'm gonna call the Granny Apple green ones because they match my house. And I'll put one here, and I'm gonna take one of the smaller ones and put it over here on the label, and then I'm going to take another small one and I'm going to put it over here. You guys can place them wherever you want to place them. This piece will go on the inside. I'm not going to adhere it until I know what sentiment I want to use. But here you go. This is card number 1. So let's go ahead and we're going to move on to card number 2.